Hello, people. When Adam said goodbye in the call previously, some YouTubers remained in the call discussing the situation. But it turned out that Adam hadn't fully disconnected from the call yet, and he happened to hear a YouTuber beginning to speak. Because of that, the conversation continued for a bit longer. Unfortunately, since this part wasn't planned, the source turned on this recording late, which means the beginning of it is missing. And on top of that, he accidentally recorded his own voice over the call, so that had to be cut out to make sure the source wouldn't get into trouble or reveal who recorded it. For the same reason, I blurred all the usernames of the YouTubers who were typing in the call chat, which I will have on screen. I don't want anyone to get into trouble with invisible narratives because of me, but to give you the full context, I used AI voiceover to recreate the questions in the parts where the audio had to be removed. So keep in mind that anything voiced by AI is slightly rephrased and isn't a direct quote. It's a simplified version of what was originally said.
Because we are posting too much, or maybe the algorithm turns against us. 'Cause I know you too can be fickle, and it hates change sometimes. So I am just wondering.
Of course, if anything is hurting the the engagement of it, then we'll be super reactive to it. It's not what's happening right now. There's a couple things that happened over the summer. YouTube changed. A lot of the videos are not showing up on people's subscription. There's something having to do with filters and I don't know, Grace or someone on the team can explain it to me because it's frankly above my head. But a lot of the views just they're not showing up on people's feeds. It has something to do with age gating and the way YouTube changed things. And then, but if these
Sorry to interrupt, but the views didn't drop because of any new YouTube updates. They dropped because the retention went down since we as viewers don't like the new content.
Guys,
I'm just going to cut this off really quickly. Yeah. We don't need to debate the algorithm of YouTube right now. I think that's not a really good use of anyone's time right here. Yes, Skylar, obviously YouTube is extremely fickle. We know that, and we're trying things out. Not everything's going to be like the best thing ever, so we will be adjusting. Nothing's set in stone right now. That's, I guess, what we're trying to get across is that like this is new for everyone. We're trying to figure it out too. So of course, if views are going down, we'll adjust as needed. But right now, it's been a week and a half. So there's not a lot of data to go on.
I think the important thing is like, let's just keep talking and know that, like, don't don't judge everything after one video. Know that that the fans are being listened to and heard. I'm not going to get into a situation where every time the fandom pops up with a question, I want to answer it, because I don't think that's good franchise management. I think the key is to give audiences what they need, not necessarily what they want. And what they need is to be able to, to see things that are more engaging to them and surprising for them, and to subvert people's expectations. So if we do exactly what people are expecting us to do, that doesn't grow anything. What we need to do is have people think we're going in one direction and continue to surprise and delight them. And that's the goal of what's happening here. And again, Cameron, it's the first time you and I are talking. I hear you. I think that a lot of what you're saying is smart and accurate, and we welcome your kind of exchange on all of this stuff. And also, as I said before, like, give it a shot, dude. Like, don't, you're sitting here acting like the sky is falling after 2 episodes, and some of it you're right about, and some of it, frankly, I just think we should sit and watch and see if we're listening to the stuff that you're talking about. Does that make sense?
Am I even allowed to criticize what's going on? Because I'm going to keep saying what I think. And I just want to understand, are you planning to strike my channel for that or not?
You can say, here's all I would say is be helpful. I mean, if you think it's going to be helpful to the franchise, great. If you think it's just going to be helpful to Iron Cameraman and that's all you care about, then that I don't. But if you think it's going to be helpful to the community, then be helpful. Like, I don't want you to sit here and do anything other than to make the viewing experience for your audience and for our audience better. And so if you feel like you can do something that's going to be positive, and it's going to, like, Alexi is going to look at it and be like, great, you're helping in the process of it, terrific. I'd like to see your audience grow. I'd like to see you get more viewership on this, because right now you're not our best engaged channel. And so if there's a way that
The problem is the quality of emergence. It honestly feels like Alexi isn't involved in the production at all. Either they're not talking to him or they're just not listening, because he would never allow something like this on the channel. At this point, maybe it would be better for me to reach out directly to the emergence team.
it's a good idea. Why don't we set a meeting, Grace, with the emergence team? And so you guys can meet the animators and you guys can meet the, the people that are coming in from week to week. I think that's a terrific idea. All right, I got to bounce, you guys. I have a 10:30 meeting that I'm late for, but I think we can set that up so you guys can meet those guys and meet the people that are working with the team. I think that's a fun idea. All right, and
For sure.
and also, cameraman, if you want to set up a time to talk one-on-one, I'm happy to go through it. Where are you? Where are you located?
LA, and also I already
He was
worked
in the
You're in
office
LA?
the other
Oh,
day,
this
Adam. I
couple
think you
weeks
missed
ago.
oh,
him.
okay. Got it. Great. Then why don't you just come by the office? Let's sit down and hang out. All right.
Thanks, guys. Sorry. If there's any like other questions along those lines, or like you guys are like, wait, can you clarify something that Dylan or I or Adam said on the call? Just because I know language barrier, all that fun stuff that we always bring up. Feel free to shoot it over. And we'll get to work on that. But yeah, we'll work on times with the team. I think that would be super helpful for everyone. I know we talked about that last week too. But yeah, Dylan, anything?
That's all I got too, guys. Like I said, let's set up some separate conversation and so forth, and let's talk individually and let's figure this out together.
Yeah. Titan stuff, guys. Again, Titan Speaker Man. Titan Speaker Man, Titan Cameraman? Which one? I just got them confused in my brain.
So that was interesting. For the part in the beginning here mentioning about the views being very fickle, meaning not responding well to change, you can see Goodman again gives the same energy as before, stating it's the algorithm. Again, he can't even seem to name the algorithm change and just says aging or something and glosses over it. Instead of addressing the full point and saying what change there is, he seems to be clueless as to what it is. In relation to this point is refuted by the fact anything non-emergence gets significantly higher views. Compare Emergence and its trailer to even that slop compilation they released, and the compilation was double Emergence's views. Furthermore, 79 full released a mere 10 or so days before Emergence. And despite that, and having no new content added to it, the views are 4 million above. This is despite these algorithm changes. Classical corporate excuses. Around a minute in, when it's mentions it's not due to algorithmic changes, the lady cuts him off. Again, saying that we shouldn't discuss this issue when they themselves claim it's the algorithm. Just shows they can address any criticism, neither back up their points. The employee starts talking about how they'll adjust as time goes on, according to views again, showing they don't care about quality but engagement. I think Goodman's point here truly exposes their mentality. We aren't going to listen to all feedback as it's not good for interest or whatever. This doesn't mean you don't listen to anything. Also, this only would apply to Emergence and not this whole situation. They really are subverting our expectations with their stupid maneuvers. We listen to feedback, but don't agree with any feedback and never respond at all. They have never even given a proper direct community response. They have only ever done it through YouTubers, or the community has leaked calls just like this one. Every time it seems like they can't get worse, they do. That's subverting the expectations, and that's not in a good way. Then there's questions asked about if you get striked if you make critical videos. They again reply just like they did to Iron Cameraman previously, to be helpful and don't do it for yourself. This is despite many people doing constructive criticism. For instance, Plunger made a 33-minute breakdown of Emergence, Iron Cameraman made a 1-hour-long video, Aswell, and many others have made videos constructively critiquing. Even over on Reddit, we have many. It just seems, as I've mentioned before, none of it is acknowledged. Then I think they talk specifically here to the YouTuber asking the question saying, "You're not our most engaged channel." Pretty ridiculous remark here. The questions asked are about criticism of the series, and now they are, of course, looping back to Emergence, basically implying if just glaze us or don't critique us much at all, we will help you get more money. Finally, the last part here. Unfortunately, the audio wasn't the best here, so this is very much a lot more of a summary. The YouTuber's audio wasn't messed up, just to clarify. The question was regarding who's making emergence. The goal of the question was to try see if they deny Boom's involvement with it. Goodman avoids the question completely and then changes the subject to setting some meeting with the emergence team. By the way, that is something that I would genuinely appreciate, sitting down and asking their emergence team questions, but from what I can tell, that meeting has never happened to this day, so again, doesn't help the communication problem Invis has. Anyways, back to the original point. The fact they completely dodged the question about who's creating emergence and just say, we will do another meeting with emergence team, which they never followed up on, is very weird. Could have been the part where he added Boom's involvement, or at least said what Boom's role actually is, rather than just executive producer, like they always say. But yeah, the question is practically ignored. In conclusion, this new clip of the call is very much the same as the previous. Same excuses, and we hear your criticism despite never acting on it. It's the cherry on top of their whole situation.